Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ya Ali Madad, in honor of His Highness Aga Khan, who has instilled in his murids patience, loving care, taqwa in the real sense, the spirit of Islam, not questioning like I've been questioned, not assaulting anyone. There is a time and a place for religious discussions and debates. Mostly it shouldn't go on debates. There should be, because debate is mostly it ends up in an egocentric thing. So we are told, even in the Quran, we're told not to argue about it. And so this Imam, Ismaili Imam, His Highness Aga Khan, is taking the bigger picture, the true picture of Islam, the humanitarian picture of Islam. And so it's in the spirit of Islam. Sorry, I meant the spirit of Islam. We are not supposed to question others, assaulting them. It's assault, actually, verbal assaults. And in bad taste, this is so indecent. People have forgotten what true Islam is. And I realize this. And if you don't agree to another school of thought, you do not have to meet them. You can disassociate yourself from them. If you hate them, if you can't stand what they are practicing, stay away from them. Avoid them. Do your own thing. Try to emulate Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as much as you can. His humanitarian works, improving the quality of life, like he wanted his ummah never to fall in trouble. So we have to see now, before questioning people about their faiths and not saying Ya Ali Madad, and why saying Ya Ali Madad and not Ya Allah Madad. We've already said Ya Allah Madad is Ya Allah is there. It's not like we are just saying it apart from Ya Allah Madad. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Ya Ali, come for this battle. In the before the battle had begun, he called Imam Ali and he said, today I'm going to give the standard to one who will be successful in this war. And so the prerequisites of Islam's way of discussions, and if you may call it debates, okay, we can call it debates, but I prefer to use discussions because arguing about it brings out the ego. And the Quran says, do not argue with each other, amongst each other. So we're supposed to avoid these things like debates, arguments. And how to indulge when we, in business also, contracts. If you go like this, you will lose out, like you're going to someone who's recently I uploaded this video. What was my background? What was my situation? I've been as honest as possible. And what were my motives? What were my intentions? My search for Imam Mahdi. So in Islam, we're allowed, because you see, there are many schisms, are schools of thought. Even in Shia Islam, we have the Ismaili Shias, we have the Twelver Shias, and we have the Bora Shias, the Zaydis, the Alavis, and they have split, the Shia Twelvers from Ismailis, and then from Ismailis, the Zaydis. So my point here must be, I'm sorry I haven't been through this video again. I was busy replying today to this person who's come here on my search for Imam Mahdi video on YouTube. And this person, Shan, has come questioning me, and again, when below I've given all the reasons why. I mean, there are many names of Allah. Call Allah in whatever name you would like. Rahman, Rahim. I've given all the reasons there, and still this person today has come, Zishan, and he knows very well that how this YouTube commence work must be an IT professional. And so I asked him to come on Facebook, and he's distorting my saying by saying that I've been claiming that I know the truth falsely, and I know this and that, and distorting my words and lying, contradicting himself in a way that I'm quite shocked. Every time I come across such people who claim to be Muslims but want us to say, Ya Allah Madad. And I don't know why he put that Astaghfirullah. He spelled F with a P there, and it means Astaghfirullah. And so I've asked him that too. And so this all troublemaking mischief makers are doing this in the name of Islam. This is not true Islam. And we need to see that first of all, what Islam asks for us, from us, is taqwa. In taqwa comes the fear of God, the glory of God. So we can, realize the glory of God, so we can get the taqwa of God in us. Sorry if my voice, I just put my hand, I think, on the speaker here. So taqwa means fear of God, and good manners which come with taqwa. Good mannerisms, etiquettes, humanitarian welfare of people, and all this comes. And the reason why I've been compelled to put these videos, because I see that there are these really extremist views. Some Muslims who can't stand Shia Muslims at all, and don't want to understand them. They will only listen to what they believe in, and that's okay, but please don't impose your views, your extremist views on us, Shia Muslims. We already have done the research, and we've reflected in ourselves, and we know that we make sense. So it would be really futile, and you would really get nothing out of it but that you yourselves would be going to the hellfire, regardless of the prayers and your fasting. Everything will be null and void to harass believers, Muslims, fellow Muslims like this. Uh, I did say that Shahada first. Shahada is important. We all Muslims say Shahada. And we don't know, even we were not, at least the Shia Muslims, I know that I'm not allowed to decide who will go to Jannah and who will not. It is for God to decide, and that verse is there in the Quran. Some people take it that before the Prophet came, the Jews, Christians, Sabians, uh, and the Hindus, polytheists, that God would decide for them. Polytheists, God would decide. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Sorry, I have to read that verse again. In one verse, it says that the Jews, Christians, and all Sabians should have no fear if they really believe in the oneness, and they should have no fear. And if they have taqwa, I think. So sorry, but the way I take the Quran is that I get the insight about humanitarian mercy, compassion, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and not indulge in, don't say Ya Allah, Ya Ali Madad. But and then very twisting and turning my words, because when I said Shias, you are against. So they're saying, no, I'm not. They're not against Shias. They just don't want us Shias because Shias only say Ya Ali Madad. So they don't want us to say Ya Ali Madad. And this way is really something unusual for true Islam, for us Shia Muslims to accept, because our Islam is very humanitarian, very loving, very helpful, even towards the non-Muslims. Look, no religion says in this book it doesn't say to us to go and find the infidels and kill the infidels. That verse was for a time. We have to read some of the verses in the Quran with the context, with the history, Islam's history. So I don't know if they have misinterpreted it. And if you read ahead, you will know that it says that you're not supposed to take lives like that. And we've already, the Shias have said their Shahada. And forgive me, but my health is not that perfect for me to go and research on what I'm saying right now. I will do it later. But this thing is expedient that I talk about and upload this. It's been too much now, the brainwashing done against Shia Islam. Let's face it. I know for sure that a lot of brainwashing in Pakistan was done against us Shia 12er Shia Muslims. And there had come this group also that was saying that to kill one Shia is to gain heaven. And this person, the leader, was Azam. His name had Azam, and they found him. And I think he died or he was killed, I don't know. But he had this group of people believing that to kill a Shia now, Shia Muslim, was to gain heaven, to gain Jannah, Jannat al-Firdaus. So it's, I do get upset, and this is too much. This is not Islam. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not have taught us these things. If the enemies have wanted this, then the Umayyads and then the Abbasids, enemies of Prophet Muhammad and Islam. So they've brought all these traditions, wrong traditions, and they put them there, collected wrong traditions. Okay, and you can tell because they're showing that Islam is very, very strict with even like against some people who say the Shahada. So they've made Shias the enemies of Islam when they themselves, when Yazid was saying the Shahada, and he was also praying Salah, and but he killed Imam Hussein and his women, his children, and some of his children, and his followers, and his friends. So even then, when we know that Yazid was from the Umayyad, a Khalifa, a Caliph, and he killed the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, even then we don't go killing the followers of the Umayyah, Bani Umayyah, and those who believe in the traditions, the Bani Umayyah ones who collected these traditions of the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Even then we don't say anything, and we don't fear them in the sense that there could be hypocrisy in them, and they are the ones who are distorting we could say they are the ones who are distorting Islam, and they have not brought out the mercy and the forgiveness that Islam has, the prerequisites of punishments that Islam has taught us, given us. The psychology, we have to look at the circumstances of the sins committed, and we have to see the mind of the person. And now we have these scientific advanced technology, so rape can be detected by various other ways rather than having witnesses and all that, right? Just an example. So this way I have seen even on Ismaili pages, His Highness Aga Khan's page, people just coming there and questioning like very boldly and rude. This is extremely rude, and this is anti-Islamic. It's anti-Islamic to question like this and hint against your fellow Muslims. Okay, for me it is, and I believe so after consulting and Just reading the Ismaili Imam, I know that he would never approve of this kind of a thing. And once again, I'm sorry if I have hurt someone by speaking out like this now. We Shia Muslims should not even be the last people to hurt even Yazid and the Umayyads or anyone, Wahhabis. We're supposed to help them and not fear these kind of things, oh, don't do this and don't do that. Don't say, Ya Ali Madad. And this kind comes from insecure people. And you must know, when I was secure within myself, when I was a strong person, I never indulged in this kind of debate, conversation with another fellow Muslim. This undermines the true spirit of Islam. So forgive me if I've said anything that could hurt a fellow Muslim or anyone's feelings. We are humanity, and we are one in humanity, and then in faith we are one. And I guess I am born a Husseini, will always remain a Husseini, because a Husseini from Imam Hussein alayhi salam, he represents the true sacrifice, grand sacrifice, unparalleled in history, for the betterment of the people, welfare of the people, that they stay under a very just, compassionate leader, a true leader of Islam, who gives and doesn't tax people, because the Quran also says to Prophet Muhammad, had we asked you to take away everything from them, they would have turned wretched and against you. But we have not asked you to take everything, ask them to give up everything and their goods and their wealth. So I appreciate it if people would come back to the true spirit of Islam and stop questioning people like we are, this is not even done at the workplace. If you question your boss like that, I mean, he has to be a really good person. But if you get to his nerves like this during work time, you will be taken out. You will be asked to leave your job. So think about these things, as we should be thinking, that should we take advantage of people, because they are on the weaker side, and because you will not be working for them. If I was the boss in a company right now, or if I was a rich person, would you be coming like this towards me? No Muslim would. No Muslim would take advantage of a weaker person. Read Surah Zaha, and you will know. We have to look at all the circumstances. This kind of thing that this man is doing, Zishan, is very against Islam. And I like to make it very clear that Muslims are doing, Muslims are doing un-Islamic things. And then coming to us like this and telling us what to do and what not to do. is un-Islamic also. So be sure that you will never get the Jannah of God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will never get it like this. And I don't know who has taught you this un-Islamic way of using, this kind of jabr and lies that you are now trying to impose your point and make your point about Islam. This is certainly not the way we Shia Muslims were taught. Only the insecure who need the majority to be on their side would come and do this, or whatever negativity they're taught against the Shia Muslims due to what Yazid did to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And so the true Islam be taken over by these enemies of Islam who want land, who want money, and yet want to use Islam, on the face of it, and on the face of it show that they are, and they win like this by just, brushing up on the Quranic ayats that are on top. They show, don't call on any other than God. And so for us to explain, it needs depth of knowledge, true knowledge, insight of the Quranic verses, not only having been a hafiz of the Quran, but knowing it deeply from all sides. And so it is totally against Islam that you would catch someone like that questioning. We have some manners, etiquettes, prerequisites. If you want to question me, you can ask me proper way, full, I say sometimes, I say, may I say this, that we should not get into wars. So this is my way, and the proper way, I feel. And when you are wanting to question a friend, you must have this agreement, prior agreement, that today we will let us discuss. I want to know about your religion, and not that I want to tell you about my religion. And the intention is very, very important in Islam. And so if the person's intentions are good, but they have failed in their actions, it may seem to you that we are disbelievers, but only God knows our intention. And it is hard to prove our intentions, and easy to prove that we failed, because you can then say, well, you are showing something, and this is your crime, and this is your behavior. And so I'm a straightforward person, and I would like to keep it straightforward, not a psychopath or psychotically, So my words are very straight when I say something, and my intentions are clean. Yet if I fail, then I would tell the person I failed. And yet I mean, sorry. What I mean to say is that there are some people coming to me and they are being very dodgy, dubious. They are dubious people, and then these kind of criminals and corrupted people can say that, well, our intentions were good, but we made a mistake, and that is not for me to determine. Or I feel I've been harassed, and so whatever the person's intentions may be, God knows. But when I tell the person, stop it, you are harassing me, please stop this, this is not the etiquettes of Islam, then that person must stop. But they do not stop there. That means that they are mischief makers and they are corrupted criminals, un-Islamic, non-Muslims. No, it's mujrimeen and zalimun.